Welcome to the Tools for the Trades Rat Rod Build Off Reveal. I've actually checked in with the schools throughout the builds, starting at the beginning of the school year, and watched these kids grow their skills and also challenge themselves to build a kart from scratch. Yes, I said from scratch. The only thing that the teams got was this North Star 740cc engine. The rest was all on them. This was their starting point right here. They didn't go online and buy a Go-Kart kit. They designed, engineered, and built what you are about to see down here all by themselves.
Hi folks, I'm Nate with Two Guys Around. Today we're here back to the 50s and we're here at the Rat Rod Go-Kart Build-Off that was started last year. And the company behind this has been Northern Tools and Equipment. And it was their concept child that came to reality, that included, the stars like Billy Lane and Richard Petty. It's been an amazing experience. So, let's start with who you are for Northern Tools.
Okay. I'm Ryan Kachula. I'm co-owner of Northern Tool and Equipment, along with my brother, Wade Kachula.
Wade Kachula.
All right. Well, it's nice you still admit he's your brother.
Yeah. We'll keep him around.
All right. So what was the impetus? I mean, how did this start? Why this?
Why this? So we developed a new engine called the North Star engine, which we put on all of our equipment. And as a way to introduce it, we thought, what would be a unique way to get out into the public and get this viewed? And it's decided that getting into the schools and building a rat rod, a go-kart, that these kids could take a raw engine and create something from it. And with that, getting into basically the name, the tools for the trades, is getting out to the next generation of the tradespeople out there. There's such a shortage of tradespeople out there. In fact, I think they say there's going to be a shortage of about 400,000 welders over the next 4 years, with all the people retiring. I think for every 5 baby boomers that retiring out of the trades, there's only 2 kids coming up out of the high schools and out of the trades to replace them. So we're looking to get our tools and equipment and stuff into the hands of the next generation of tradespeople. We provide the equipment to about 10 schools per year. We keep doing that each year in our retail areas. There's no real application for it. You don't really apply for it. We just pick the schools and how can we serve them better, and just almost to surprise them with about a $10,000 equipment setup for their tools and equipment for their trade department.
Would you do it again?
We have something big coming for an announcement. It's going to look a little different, but in August, we're hoping to be able to relay the next big project.
Ooh!
But in that, we're still going to be doing the supporting 10 schools, outfitting them with our tools and equipment in 10 of our markets.
So you have yet another thing coming.
Oh, it's big.
That's awesome. So my last question, so you do it again, you're going to continue to do it again, you got something new coming out. Have you had an opportunity to visit with the school kids at some point during the project?
Yep, we've seen them throughout the build. We followed along on the YouTube when we weren't available. But, we envisioned the design, the build, the brainstorming, the trial and error. But truly, it's seeing the confidence and pride that it's put into these kids is just amazing.
Well, I tell you what, on behalf of students and public schools, thank you so much for investing in part of our kids, for the future of those of our kids that a four-year college isn't the route that they want to go, right? Thank you for providing them with the tools and the skills. It's just outstanding what your company has done, so thank you.
Thank you.
And we're here with the CEO of the company. So, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Nathan. Hi, I'm Suresh Krishna. I'm the President and CEO of Northern Tool and Equipment, and we're really excited to be participating in this Rat Rod competition under the umbrella of the Back to the 50s event.
Tell us how you got involved in doing this project.
Great question, Nathan. So all of this goes back a few years ago when we launched our Tools for Trades program. This was in 2021.
Okay.
We realized that there is a big gap in this country for generating the next generation of tradespeople.
Yeah.
Tradespeople have been core customer of ours for 40 years. And we thought it's important for us to give back to the trades community by helping build the next generation of trades. And so we focused on high schools, which is where a lot of students make a decision on which way to go. Yeah. And the big decision they make many times is, do we follow a 4-year college path or do we go follow a path in the trades? So we got associated with high schools to help students make an informed decision through the Tools for Trades program. And this program, we work with the teachers, instructors of the shop class, CTE or Careers in Technical Education. And through that, we are providing equipment and expertise to these high schools so they can then have the students get a real life experience of what it looks like to be in the trades.
Kudos to your company for helping out with this, and what a wonderful thing. We can't wait to see the reveal at 11 today. So thank you so much for your time and your company's efforts.
Thank you, Nathan.
Richard, thank you so much for taking a little time with us today.
Glad to be here, man.
So you have been part of this, an integral part of this rat rod build.
Right.
And last year is when it started. And so this year you've been partnering with the schools and talking to the students. So overall, what has been your experience when you talk with the kids? You feeling like you're able to pass some of your wisdom on?
No, not really. But, just talking to the kids, they're very open to anything.
Yeah.
Okay? The high school kids, and they're looking for, say, some adventure or something. But they know that if they learn doing what they do and learn to use their hands, they'll always have a job. Okay? And so when they come up with this rat rod operation, then it gives them a chance to think a little bit, but then using you and being able to build stuff, thinking about it, but then actually put it in practice. So that was the deal. And then there was 6, 8 of them, 8 or 10 of them on each team.
Yes.
And everybody had an idea. And they sat down and collectively came up with these 2 vehicles, and they're unreal when you see them, that's for sure.
Yeah, we can't wait to see the unveil this afternoon. So, in your experience, I mean, thank you as a star for helping these kids out. I mean, you have done things for them just by participating.
I know how I came along. I went to high school and stuff, but never went to college and stuff. So I started working on my dad's race car. So I learned to use my hands all those years, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And even though I drove a race car and done that, I still worked on the car. So the education I got from using my hands was able to transfer into the race car, the driving part of it. So it took a whole operation to make it work. But again, they always told me that when they got me out of the race car, they was going to put me back to work. So I did have a vocation after that.
Well, one more question for you, Mr. Petty. If this opportunity was offered to you again to work with a group of high school students, would you run the other way or would you do it again?
No, I think I got a little bit more experience now in being able to talk to these kids and tell them how fortunate they are to be able to do what they're doing.
Yes, sir.
And so from that standpoint, I'd look forward to doing this a lot more.
Super. Richard Petty, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
So we are with the group from the Minneapolis Public Schools. And so it has been a year since the last time we talked. What was your experience? Let's start with the instructors. So you start this thing. Did it go as you thought it would?
Yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
we knew there would be some complications throughout the way, but overall, I think it went fairly well. We hit some, a couple road bumps. There was some tensions, but all in all, I think it worked out. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think yes and no. I think the kart turned out a lot different than I originally had in mind.
Okay.
I think it came out a lot cooler than some of the ideas that I had before. And a lot of that was just letting the kids run with their ideas and us stepping back and embracing their ideas and not trying to feed too much into our own ideas into their.
That's interesting because that is not easy to do. Especially when you have the vehicle in front of you, right? Your temptation is to, and you kids probably do the same thing, right? You're ready to do your own idea,
Heck yeah, I mean, yeah. Also, not having a plan the whole time, we're just jumping into new things. Like we were working on, at one point, I was doing the front axle, and then it started to come in the idea, how are we going to do steering? So we're in the middle of doing the front axle, and then we're starting to do steering. We're opening new cans, getting into a bunch of new things. It was awesome.
Well, that's good to hear because, it's that whole experience.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, working was awesome. We had, like 22 kids in the class. So we had different groups, working on different projects. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, so so at the beginning, did you kind of plan this out and say, let's, I'm seeing that. No, we didn't plan it out. Did you
We did, but what's here is not what we planned out. So
Okay.
the plan adapted a lot, like many times as we kept going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you ended up with the vehicle
Oh yeah.
at the end, and I think as you restore cars, it's not always the journey you imagine it's going to be, right? There's always little things. I mean, you end up with the car you want, but it takes a while to get there, and there are bumps in the road. So, now let's back up for just a minute, but let's re-explain why we have 2 instructors and what your role is.
Well, at Minneapolis Public Schools, we offer a lot of auto classes, so that's me. Party foul.
Gigabytes are cheap. We're not live, so
We have 2 instructors because we offer a variety of auto classes at Minneapolis Public Schools. We have small engines, basic automotive, advanced automotive, and collision. So we have a lot of kids that are interested in the class. This year we shifted to a different schedule where we're open to all the high schools in Minneapolis. So we had block classes, and this is actually a unique course that lands in the middle of our day for just Roosevelt students. So, which is the school where we're based at, and that's
Okay.
why we have 2 instructors in this one class. I'm not going to say that made it easier because Luther and I have varying opinions, and the kids will attest to that. And sometimes we yell at each other like married couple, and we still get it hashed out.
As you can see on our shirts, I think it's what made our class what our class is our relationship, and especially when we're giving each other a lot of hell, and the kids vibe off of that. We have a lot of fun.
okay. So back to any one of the students. It doesn't matter who. Tell me about your overall feeling. Would you do it again?
I think I would absolutely do it again. I liked how, because we had such a big class, we were able to get so many different opinions and different points of view from our own, and we could really make this cart into a class project rather than just a few students working on it making something that they want. It was everyone doing the same thing, and it really evolved a lot.
So you had some stars that were helping in some capacity. Who was your star?
So we were having meetings with both Billy Lane and Petty's crew throughout the year.
Oh, really? Both of them? Okay.
Yes. So we would meet with them about once a month, and they would just give us tips about things that we'd be struggling with. I know specifically with steering and how cambered our wheels should be and such. Just smaller stuff like that. As we went through the month and we came upon a problem, they would help us work that through.
Okay, so sort of the regular once a month, let's meet, and then you would kind of talk just about the things you were troubling you, okay, and then they would give you some advice. Well, that's pretty neat to be able to have a one-on-one with some of these famous car people. Not something that really any of us get to do, right? So you're a lucky few.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through the process. So for you, what was the most fun? Let's start with that.
I'd say the most fun part was at the very beginning. Eli over here was the one who picked up a bunch of scrap, and that ended up being the base for our cart. We just dug through that and we built a rat rod out of it.
Okay. What was the hardest part?
I feel like the hardest part was working with everybody and making sure that nobody had their ideas weren't crushed or yeah.
Yeah, that's a balancing act, isn't it? What was one of the most challenging aspects of putting this together?
Honestly, I would say getting to one solid idea. There were so many different ideas and so many different designs going around that it was hard sticking to one, and kind of at some points there was we'd start building one thing, and then it'd be really, we'd have to like change that completely. So we'd have to like take everything we just did, scrap it, and redo the whole thing. So there was sometimes where we just had to redo everything and redo components that we already thought we were done with, just so that we could get, you know, a different look or a different design that we thought we might like more than the previous one. And, you know, redoing that all on the time frame was really, that was kind of a struggle to try and make sure we could all, you know, work together and be able to complete that all in that time frame and redo that all and make sure it's all, you know, how we wanted it to be. And, you know,
Today is the reveal, and your stars are coming back to help you do it. Are you excited?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Will they be driven today? Will they be started?
Yes, they will be.
As long as weather holds out, yeah.
Yes. Out of the group of you after this experience, I have just one last question. Did this process make you want to continue more in the automotive world or less?
For me personally, like I'm going into like I'm not going into this right away, but like this class and like these classes, even like at school, like not just the Rat Rod class, they made me want to do it. So like they made me want to do it on the side and want to do it at home and want to take this time, not for like a job, but for a passion and for fun, just to do it on the side. Like even if I'm not getting paid for it, just something for fun, because I've been able to see how fun these things are and how much, you know, how cool it is to see something go from absolutely nothing and just an engine to a complete, fully built, you know, Rat Rod go-kart. It's really cool to see, and it made me kind of want to continue to try and do that no matter what I end up doing in life.
It really did push me to want to be in this industry more. It showed the tough side of it, which you don't normally see in the classroom, of having to actually collaborate with people and make sure that everyone's ideas are well-rounded and all mashed together correctly. And there was definitely some hard points, but that's just what happens in every project. And I think it was a really good learning experience for the future, even if it's not in cars, just teamwork altogether for any walk of life.
Absolutely.
Working on this Rat Rod made me know for sure that I wanted to be in the auto industry. Throughout high school, I was taking like the auto body classes that we have.
Okay.
And I knew that I wanted to be in auto body, but taking this class specifically really like nailed the coffin that I wanted to do auto when I get older and after high school. And it makes me be able to see the whole process and really what effort goes into making the things that I fix at work.
Okay.
During the Rat Rod class, it made me want to go into automotive more, and it made me really decide like if I wanted to go in mechanical or auto body, and it made me like help make that choice. So it definitely was fun.
Yeah, the skills, I mean, you know, everything we got to do in this class, just the time spent in the build-off, we, you know, improved skills we already had, but we got to learn so much more. I think this just solidified my thought of, you know, going into the trades after high school. I really loved everything we got to do in this class.
During the past couple of years, I was pretty decided on the fact that I want to go into the trades for college and as a career in the future as well. At the beginning of this year, I kind of decided for myself that I would be going into collision, but working through this class, it made me a little almost upset that I'm not going into automotive as well. I might follow that after I go for collision, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, you know, from an outsider's perspective, it's awesome that you have been through this experience. It's awesome to see so many girls going into it, because guys, I mean, that's one thing we don't see a lot of, right? There's a few TV stars, but not a lot. So way to go. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much.
We're talking to the students from Lakeville North. That's the other team. And pick their brains and find out how this experience went for them. So, since you have the mic, you get to start. When you started the project, you obviously all had thoughts and ideas about how this would go. Did it surprise you as to how it actually went? Or you're like, nope, this is exactly what I thought it would be?
I think I can speak for everyone when what we started with and what we ended with is not exactly what we expected, but we're all very happy with the process and how it ended, and I think we were very excited for this today.
Now that you've been through this, very fortunate, I think you will look back on your lives eventually, and maybe you realize at this point going, we are like the only kids in the world that had this opportunity and worked with these people. I mean, to say that, oh yeah, I've talked to Richard Petty several times. Huh? You know, wow, what? It's just like crazy. So, has this pushed you more in the direction of going into something in auto? You know, whether that's manufacturing or repairing or whatever? Or has it like, oh, nope, this experience showed me I did not want to have to do this again?
You don't have to.
I think that it kind of solidified my idea of wanting to go into the trades, and I think I can speak for all of us. We all want to go into some kind of trade, and this kind of gave us that overall like taste of what the future could hold for us.
So you got a chance to work with some fairly famous people. So what was that like?
That was awesome. It was just a once in a lifetime opportunity that we got through Northern Tool.
Good thing you have helpers.
So meeting these people was just amazing. It's like a dream come true to just work with our hands and get to meet people like Richard Petty and Billy Lane and Thad. It's just dream come true.
What is your experience with, how do you feel about this? I'm going to continue, I'm not.
My feelings towards this is just so overwhelmed. There's so much like amazing stuff that's happened. It's so cool to get this experience, and everything we've done this year towards this has just been more than I ever thought I could ever do.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, I'm sure working as a team, there must have been moments where you disagree with each other?
Very much.
Yeah.
My question is, did you figure out how to work together?
We usually were able to figure them out, and everyone was at least content with what they had in the end. So I say we did a pretty good job at handling those confrontations.
Well, you must have, because depending on your personality type, it's easy to get crushed if a whole bunch of people don't like your idea, and then you don't want to speak up. And then that person's creativity is lost, right? So kudos for, managing it somehow that everyone still felt about. Okay, tell me, what was the funniest thing that happened during this build?
So it's like 4 or 5 weeks before all the seniors leave. You know, we're out of school, we're graduated, and I'm sitting in the cart. I'm making sure all the controls work, the gas, everything, and Timmy is drilling one of the headlight holes for the wiring, and he drills a little too far, and he drills right into my jeans. So that caught up in my jeans and ripped a pretty good hole and cut me. So
what a wonderful experience. I mean, for you guys to have been through, today was like, it's a high, right? You're like, tomorrow you're going to wake up and pinch yourself and say, was that all real?
Yeah.
So as you go on, now that you're, well, how many of you are seniors? Okay. So as the four of you go on, you going into automotive?
I think I'm the only one going to autos.
Okay.
So yeah, he's going into automotive. I'm going into power sport technology, which is all the recreational vehicles, so four-wheelers, motorcycles,
nice,
all that.
And you?
I'm going into mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So more like the building process and all that. That's what got me.
Okay.
And then I'm actually going to be a welder.
Okay, so you're all taking parts of this from what you learned, your experience with you. You know, we find that when we talk to car owners and their stories on classic cars, that 99.8% of everyone we talk to that's restored a car is not a mechanic, they are not an engineer, they are nothing, they're a banker, they're a lawyer, they're a doctor. They just like working with their hands. So I have no doubt that down the road in the future, we're going to see some pretty incredible things from all of you with automotive stuff back at shows. So you say, yeah, you know, that started in high school. But guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me. What a wonderful reveal today. Love the sound of that exhaust.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a...
You can thank him for
that was a nice touch.
Routing that exhaust. I worked with him a little bit. I don't know how he did that.
It was amazing.
It was
all
something.
the little touches you put on your car.
You like the cup holder?
Oh, the cup holder was fantastic. I like that someone actually put a water in it.
It fits a monster perfectly.
See, well, you got to design it, you know, for something, right? You got to know what's going to fit
And
something.
with these guys, it's caffeine.
I just, as I kept going around, I kept finding surprises, which I love as a car guy. I like seeing something that's unique. You know, it's just fun. It's just fun. But anyways, thank you so much, guys, for spending your time with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations on having a wonderful year. Congratulations, seniors. We look forward to see what you're going to bring us in the future.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching.